Hey there, if you follow us here at 5Market Realty, you know that we do market updates, usually just on the Athens area. But from time to time, we do like to take one of our resources, Keeping Current Matters, and kind of talk about things from a national perspective. That's what this video is right here. So if you're interested in Athens area real estate, being kept up to date, be sure to click subscribe. Now, this time of year, we're probably doing a lot more videos because we also do fun things like our prediction score contest for the Georgia game. So sorry to overload your inbox, but had a lot of clients reach out to me, especially over the last couple of months, asking questions, sending articles. Everybody seems to kind of be trying to figure out what's going to happen with the economy, what's happening with real estate. And the best way for us to keep you informed is to kind of let you know what we see. What we do on the Athens updates is we show you what's going on in our very local market, because real estate is truly local. But this is a way for us to use a resource to kind of talk about national trends. And I want to discuss a few myths that are out there that people are hearing that aren't exactly true. And what's right there on the screen right now is that most agents know what's happening. Good agents understand what's happening. And great agents can't explain what's happening. So that's what we try to do here at our company, 5Market Realty, is we try to have agents that are knowledgeable and know what's going on in our local market and understand. So if you ask a question, we can explain it to you rather than just go along with whatever rumor you might be hearing that might not be true. So the first myth, we've covered this so many times, is that foreclosures are increasing. Well, while technically that is true, technically, if you want to look back at 2020 and 2021, when there was a foreclosure moratorium, the foreclosures are up from there. But we are nowhere near the past years. And I will only start to worry about foreclosures if we start getting to this number or this number. We're so far below. Look here at 2023. Look back at 2009. So while technically you could say it's true that foreclosures are increasing, historically they are not. We'll watch it and let you know if that changes. But as of now, that's not really the full truth that you're hearing. Myth number two. Been a lot of talk about Airbnbs, especially here in Athens. You probably heard about New York City. We'll cover that in a minute. But a lot of people think that there's all these Airbnbs that are going to come on the market now because of where Airbnbs are being banned or regulated in various cities. Now, actually, Athens is now one of these. If you're unaware, single family zonings, RS zones, RS15, RS5, RS20, means the size of the lot. They put a moratorium on any new Airbnbs. That does not apply to commercial districts, and it does not apply to multifamily districts. But here in a place like New York, they went a lot stronger. This is one thing I want to show you that is a shocking number. Listings for short-term rentals down 77% in New York City. June 4th, 2023, there were over 22,000 Airbnbs. And by September 10th, there were 4,600. Drastic decrease there. We are going to see something change with that. And there will be some opportunities. There will be people that bought one that's not cash flowing. There will be people that are going to have to put one on the market, but it's not going to change the real estate market. It's probably going to create some opportunities for buyers. The flip side of the issue, let's talk about Arizona. Now, this is a quote from Brendan Rierick at Financial News. In 2016, the state of Arizona passed a law that bans all of its cities and towns from capping their number of short-term rentals. At the start of 2023, Phoenix had over 20,000 short-term rental units. All that competition has led to many of them sitting empty for weeks at a time. So there's the other way, the state stepping in and saying you can't regulate these properties. Here's another myth. Wall Street is buying every home. Now, there was a time when the interest rates were lower and things looked a little different that you did see a lot of this type of buying. But here's the actual numbers right now. This is through the first quarter of 2023 of who the purchases are. If you look here, iBuyers 3,000. Somebody that's buying over 1,000 plus properties or holds that, just under 2,000. That's going to be your Wall Street type buyer. And then somebody that's holding over 100 to 1,000 properties, 4,600, 10 to 99, 16, almost 17,000. But mom and pop, 125. Now, that's what we work a lot with. We have a lot of investors that own maybe even one property up to 10 properties. We have some that might own 20. But on our sales side of that, we work with a lot of people like that. And we obviously have a property management company, Red and Black Rentals, where we help service those. Percentage of sales by investors. So we're talking about purchases. Now we're talking about sales. Well, we know that these big Wall Street buyers aren't big on selling. You can see how low that is down here. Somebody that owns 1,000 plus properties, barely even registering. But most of the sales, about 20%, 1 to 9 properties owned by what we're calling mom and pop. So the narrative of that Wall Street's buying up everything might have been true a little while back. It might have felt that way. I didn't see as much of it personally. A lot of these things took place off market, but it's really not the case for bulk of the market. Inventory, that's something we always are talking about locally and nationally. And this is what I want to kind of cover real quick. What we didn't expect, especially considering 7+% mortgage rates, was more new listings. Jeff Tucker, senior economist at Zillow. I actually put out there last week that we saw what I've been tracking for every year. Active homes for sale in Clark and Oconee County was at 277 last Friday. That's the most I've seen in a long time actively for sale. What I mean by actively for sale is not pending a contingency. I mean, you can make an offer and they can, once they sign it, you have a contract. But look here, this is an interesting trend that we've really never seen before. This blue line is 2023. Obviously, this blue line for new listings is still well below those other years. But look here, starting in July and August, you can almost every time see a trend downward new listings. However, this year, even though the amount of listings is still low, the trend has ticked up. So we want to watch that because maybe that will trigger some type of change in the market if we can actually get our inventory up. But that's the first time in all these years you're supposed to see a seasonal downtick in listings. It's because of school getting back. But right now, we've actually seen for the first time a reversal of that in the month of August. 70% of mortgage rates are less than 4%. That's part of what's creating the gridlock. It's not that we don't have people that would like to do something. It's just really hard to look here. Those people that are less than 6% are only 3.7%. Meanwhile, we've got 26% of people that are under 3. If you're under 3%, you're not going to be very motivated unless you really have a have to in your life. 44% are 3 to 4% mortgages, which are also great. And even 4 to 5% is also excellent. The truth is 7% interest rates are not historically really bad. But when you couple that from where we were at 3, now we're at 7, and the prices have escalated. That just feels uncomfortable to a lot of people. So it really limits the inventory. If you look here, people that are under 3, this is that dark red right here that we're just saying they're not selling right now. And then 3 to 4, almost half of the pie, probably not selling. The people in the market that are really doing most of the activities right now are people that have slightly higher interest rates and also older baby boomers that have to be moving for retirement or various things like that. So really only about a fourth of people, these 6%, 5% people are really serious contenders for selling in the current climate. Equity. This is something over 5 years to look at the equity increase. That's what's happening with a lot of people. I heard somewhere a large national bank was seeing more home equity lines than they've ever seen in the last 20, 25 years because a lot of people are not moving, but they're looking to their house to say, well, do you want to put in a pool? Do we do a back porch? Look at Georgia. That's a 71% increase in your home price over the last 5 years through quarter 2 of 2023. It's probably up a little bit from there. I mean, across the country, 55 in Texas. I mean, Georgia's doing really good here at 71 with the national average being 57.3. And then if you look here, this is over since 1991, the change in home prices, almost 300% with a national average of almost 300%, 297. That's over the last 30 years. Wow. So, real estate's been good to people, and a lot of people have seen an extreme growth in their equity over the last several years. Basically, what I mentioned before is empty nesters dominate the home selling market. We're seeing a lot of that in our company. A lot of our sales this year have not been your first-time home buyer. They've not even been somebody about 40 years old. They've been a lot of people over 55, in often cases UGA parents looking to make an investment. And it shows here nationally because you see that 77% of these sellers have no children at home. That's been a lot of the people that are in the market right now, and that's just kind of what's going on with this current little shift we've seen between the printing of money, the raising of interest rates, and everybody trying to take a guess at how it's going to shake out. Current home appreciation. This is what I want to kind of end on. Everybody sort of thought the prices were going to come down. I've had people mention to me if that's what's going on because they're seeing reductions. It's not really the case. Home prices aren't falling anymore. This surprisingly quick recovery suggests that the residential real estate downturn is turning out to be shorter and shallower than many housing economists expected, even after mortgage rates soared this year. That's from Nicole Friedman, a reporter, Wall Street Journal. From January through August, housing demand stabilized, resulting in relatively stable home prices. By August 2023, national resale home prices fully recovered from the declines experienced in the second half of 2022 and now exceed their April 2022 peak. John Burns Consulting, senior research analyst there. So that tracks with what we're seeing here in Athens because we've seen some people kind of shoot for the moon. They've had to reel back their price. When they sold, it was still 5 to 7, 8, 10% above the previous year's price, but they were trying to go 20% above it. Overall, it appears the reduction in supply has outweighed the decrease in demand. Thus, house prices have started to increase even as sales have fallen. Freddie Mac Housing and Mortgage Outlook. I'm going to breeze through this because this was previous what they saw with the housing percentage growth, and for a while they were going down, but it actually started to trend back up. Month over month price change, national rate of appreciation by region. You can see everybody's here is up. Even the Pacific is up a little bit. So we're starting to see appreciation slow down, which is probably a good thing. It's still there, but it's just a little bit less. Case-Shiller home price movement. Now, the narrative is in some of these cities like Seattle, Los Angeles, the home prices are falling off. The reality is Seattle is almost up 2%. San Diego, 1.5%. Phoenix, 1%. Los Angeles, still over 1%. In places like Atlanta, Boston, Charlotte, they're up a little bit. And that's the average out. Now, real estate's very local. We're seeing a lot more than that here in Athens. Like I said, over 5%. But we are seeing it cool down from these previous huge gains we had in 2020, 2021. Lastly, future home prices. Home mortgage rates have slowed additional price surges with monthly increases returning to regular seasonal averages. In other words, home prices are still growing, but are in line with historical seasonal expectations. So what that means is if you made a fortune in your real estate over the last 2 years, that is in the past, you can still make money. It's just going to be at less percentage. That should be your expectation. And that's what we're going to look at here. This is the estimated home price performance for the next several years. If you look at this, 3%, 2%, 3.2, the source is HPS. And essentially, it's showing that we're going to see appreciation, but it's going to be at a much more realistic clip than what we were seeing 15, 17, 22, 25%. And it got to be almost comical to do these. So I wanted to get that information out to you today. Hopefully you found this a little bit helpful, a little bit more of a national perspective. If you're interested in following us, be sure to click subscribe for our YouTube channel or on our website, 5mrealty.com. Thanks for listening to me talk for almost 12 minutes. Had a lot of information to get out to you. Thanks again. Have a great week.